Good to go?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to talk about functions. But to talk about functions, I want to go ahead and explain a few things. With our functions, we're going to talk about the relationship between a range and a domain, or domain and range. Now, what I want you to realize is essentially we're going to have a group. All right, and we're going to say that this is my group of x's, this is my group of y's. So this is all things that an x can be, all things that a y can be. Now notice my x is essentially my independent variable. My y is going to be my dependent variable when we think of linear equations, so on and so forth. But right now what I want to talk to you about is basketball. So if we have, we'll put Kobe in there.
Ray.
Okay, we'll put Ray in there. And let's just say Charles Barkley takes off his suit, puts on the shorts, and comes out of retirement.
I do like some Charles Barkley.
We're putting Barkley back in.
Barkley making a return.
All right, huh? That's my favorite player, girl.
Me
Better
too.
back up. All right.
But Ray can still take it.
Whatever.
Okay.
He can take his order. Okay.
Larry Bird.
All right. So here's the deal. Monday night comes along, all three of them playing a game. Kobe has 40 points. Ray has, let's say, 42 points.
Right.
And Barkley, coming off the bench, rocks out 60 points. Is that possible?
No, hell no.
All right. So Kobe's got 40, Ray's got 42, Barkley's got 60. All right? Monday night. Cool. They play. Then the next night, they come out. Kobe, he has 30 points. Ray has 15 points. And Barkley, let's say Barkley has 15 points as well. Of course, we're not going to talk about the 40 rebounds that he pulled, but whatever. All right, so that's a lot of rebounds. All right, so we've got this relationship. Notice that Ray and Barkley scored the same amount of points. All right? Now, is it possible for Kobe to score 30 points and 40 points as a final score?
No.
No, absolutely not. All right? So with this in mind, Ray could have 40 points, Barkley could have 3 points, but Kobe's not going to have 30 and 40. All right? So with this, we're going to call this a function. We're going to call this a function. And this is going to be not a function. All right? Now, essentially, our x, we're going to call our x our domain. This is where all our x's are going to be. And this is going to be our range. Domain, range, domain, range. Now, if we stop and we look at this, I want you to understand that there's a relationship going on. K40, R42, B60. All right? This is my relationship. Notice when we look at this, it's a one-to-one relationship. For every one x, I have one y. For every domain, I have a range. Now, in this one, well, Kobe had 30, Ray had 15, and Barkley had 15. All right, so on this one, notice I have a repeat in the y, but I'm okay with that. I'm calling that a function. Now in this one here, here's the problem. In this one, we've got Kobe hitting 30 and 40. Okay? So this is what we're saying is not a function. Now if I plot these out, Here's Kobe. Here's Ray. Here's Barkley. Here's 40 points, 50, 60. So if I graph this out, it's going to look, here's 40. This is 42. Here's 60. Notice this is my K40, my R42, and my B60. Right? Okay. And notice this, if I connected the dots, it's going to look something like that. Right? Okay. For my next graph, we have a Kobe, Ray, and Barkley. Here's 30, Kobe with 30. And then both of these guys with 15. And I'm hoping that we can see this on the camera okay. All right, so with that said, notice in this, we're decreasing if we connected these lines together, and then we're constant. We know that's okay. This one, we're increasing. Okay, no problem. However, if Kobe has 30 points, Kobe has 40 points, Ray might have 40, let's say Barkley had 3. This relationship is going to go something like that, but I want you to take an account of this relationship here, right there, this from point to point. This is a vertical line, and as we've talked about before, a vertical line, my vertical line is going to make it to where it's undefined. So at this point, it's undefined. So basically what I'm saying is that if my x's repeat, just like I have a Kobe to 30, a Kobe to 40, I'm repetitive there. So that's going to turn this into being undefined. And when it's undefined, it's not going to be a function. All right? Because what it means is my x has got 2 values for a y. Over here, my y's repeat, that's okay. That just means that they've got the same amount of points. No problem. It's a function. All right? So what we have a test, it's called the vertical line test. And essentially, you take a graph, whatever graph it is, and the idea is you're going to draw a vertical line. So I can draw it anywhere I want, but it has to pass the condition to where it only touches the graph one time. So if I draw it here, it touches one time, vertical line. I draw the vertical line here, touches one time. So I know it's a function, because that means that I have some, in this case, a negative x value with a positive y. So for this negative x, whatever this is right here, we'll call this x1 or whatever, I've only got one value of y. So it's a relationship and such. Now this one, I could draw my vertical lines. I draw this. Notice the x does not touch the hole, or excuse me, this hole here. So the x is not being used at this point, but it is being used in this point here. All right? So even though it looks like it may be touching, it's not. because this x at this point right here is a hole. It's not being used.
It's 10 minutes already.
All right, so now, I come along, it passes the vertical line test. I come along, it's passed the vertical line test. But notice right here, it's not passing the vertical line test. I've got a point here and a point here. Both of these points, same x has different y's. It's not a function. Now, there's lots of things that are not functions that are still cool that we love. For instance, a circle. Circle is not a function. There's two y values for this one x. So it's not a function. So once again, basically, we have a domain, which is our x. It jumps on the function train. Here's our function. Here's our range. And this becomes, we have our x jumps on the function, and we get our range, which is essentially our y, to say, well, when x is this, what is our y? All right? So with that said, you know, by all means, try to wake up, you know what I'm saying, maybe get some coffee, I don't know, you know, maybe not try to fall asleep while we're taping or viewing, and go from there.